Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nafiani Arum Fitria with the last ID number is 30. Today I want to presentation my material for um, for the mid-semester with the topics is example of morphemic cutting analysis. And then number 1 is disagree and disagreeable. Disagree for verb and disagreeable is adjective. Disagree verb, late 15th century, refused assent to from old French disagree, 12th century from des negative, not opposite of C dis negative, plus a career to please satisfy, to receive with favor, take pleasure in, C agree, sense of differ in opinion, express contrary views is from 1550 and disagreeable adjective century 1400 not in agreement amiable from old French disagreeable 13th centuries from December des negative not outside of C dis negative plus agreeable blessing in agreement consenting C agreeable meaning not in court with one taste offensive to the mind or sense is from 1690. Related disagreeableness slightly earlier in some sense was incredible. Next is the root word of disagreeable. Disagreeable, the root wordnya dis plus agreeable, dis plus agree plus able, disagree plus able, disagreeable plus I. So the root word of disagreeable have 4 morphemes. And then the root word of disagreeable is agreeable. The prefix dis negative is added to agreeable to from the word, changing its meaning from pleasing to unpleasant or not agreeable. Next is how many morphemes? The word of disagreeable is made up of 4 morphemes. Dis negative plus agree plus negative able plus negative I. And then this negative is prefix. Negative means not or the opposite of. Agree is root word. Verb means to have the same opinion. Able is suffix. Adjective forming means capable of being. And I is suffix. Silent indicates the word is an adjective. The word disagreeable means not capable of being agreed with. And then number 2 is forget and unforgettable. Forget for verb and unforgettable for adjective. Forget verb, Middle English origin from Old English forgotten, lose the power of recalling to the mind, fail to remember, neglect inadvertently from for negative, use here properly with the privative force, away, a miss of sight, plus kitten to grasp, see get verb, to unget hands to lose from the mind. And then unforgettable adjective that cannot be forgotten, 1806 from unnegative, not plus forgettable. And then the root word of unforgettable. Un plus forget plus able, unforget plus able, unforgettable plus I. So the root word of unforgettable have 3 morphemes. And the root word of unforgettable is forget. The word is formed by adding the prefix negative and the suffix plus negative able to the root word forget. And then how many morphemes? The word of unforgettable is made up of 3 morphemes. Negative plus forget plus negative able. Negative is prefix. Negative means not. Forget is root word. Verb means to lose the memory of. Able is suffix. Adjective forming means capable of being. The word unforgettable meaning is not able to be forgotten or memorable. And then next is number 3, examine and examination. Examine for verb and examination for noun. Examine verb Century 1300 put someone to question in regard to knowledge, competence, or skill, inquire into qualification or capabilities. Mean negative 14th century, inspect or survey or something carefully, scrutinize, view or observe in all aspects with the purpose of forming a correct opinion or judgment. From old French examiner, interrogate, question, torture. From Latin examiner, to test, to try, consider, ponder, literally to weigh. From examine, a means of weighing or testing. Probably ultimately from exigere, demon, require, enforce. Literally to drive or force out. Also to finish, measure from X out. See X negative. Plus occur, to set in motion, drive forward, to do, perform. From PIA root, a negative to drive, throw out, or for move. An examination noun, late 14th century action of testing or judging, judicial inquiry. From Old French examination, from Latin examinationum, or nominative examinio, noun of action from past participle stem of examiner, to weigh, to ponder, consider, or see examine. Sense of test of knowledge is tested from 1610. And the root word of re-examination, re plus examination, re plus examine plus action, examine plus action. So the root word of re-examination have 3 morphemes. The root word of re-examination is examination. The prefix re negative is added to indicate repetition of the act of doing something again. And then the last, how many morphemes? The word of re-examination is made up of 3 morphemes. Re negative plus examine plus negative action. Re negative is prefix, repetition means again, examine root word, verb means to inspect closely, and negative action is suffix noun forming, means the act or process of. The word of re-examination meaning is act of inspecting closely again, especially from a different viewpoint. That concludes my presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.